This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh boy, I guess it doesn't have to be pretty. And the Tigers win their fourth in a row, third straight win over the Minnesota Twins, and 6 of their last 7. But wow, what did we just watch? 3-hour, 40-minute game, something like that. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Thanks for staying up late. It shouldn't have been that hard, but hey, here we are. Like I said, the Tigers at least get the victory. 8-5 the final in this one. We're going to break it all down on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. As I mentioned, 4 wins in a row. The Tigers were absolutely brutal with runners in scoring position today. Bullpen a little bit shaky, but Casey Mize, when all is said and done, pretty nice outing from him. Ties a career high 10 strikeouts. So buckle up, dial it in. Your comments are always welcome. I want to hear what you thought of tonight's marathon game. And as always, we'll have our biggest talking point, our turning point, and our player of the game. As a reminder, this is your home for the Locked On Tigers post-game show. It's the POSTCAST. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the Locked On Tigers network if you haven't already. And just some housekeeping items, because we're still seeing some comments. This is the post-game show, and then we've got the daily show with Scott Bentley. It's just more Tigers content. Scott and I are really good friends and enjoy talking ball with everyone on the Locked On Tigers podcast network. That's as simple as we can make it. So just a quick post-game reaction show after as many games as I possibly can, because I absolutely love doing that. And the background on me is formerly with 97.1 The Ticket, the Detroit Tigers flagship radio station, and now with the Locked On Podcast Network. So that's it. That's all, and nothing more needs to be said or made of it. So let's get right into it. Your comments are always welcome, as I mentioned, and we begin with our biggest talking point, which, despite the Tigers getting the win tonight, the Minnesota Twins, we can all agree, really bad, sold at the deadline. I mean, don't even have a complete roster makeover after the deadline because they sold so many parts. So they don't even know who's going out there to pitch. So fortunately for the Tigers, if they play this game against a contending team, I don't think you get away with what the Tigers got away with tonight. Just such poor hitting in clutch situations. Again, 4 for 21 and leaving 14 guys on base. That's certainly not a recipe for victory, but the Tigers were still able to overcome it all for the victory. And that's our biggest talking point.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think also it needs to be said that was a couple of high leverage bullpen innings that were self-induced as well. So this is one of those games that I think if you play it back, and AJ Hinch would probably tell you this as well, the Tigers could have won this game 15-0. I mean, it was really, really that type of game. And for the Minnesota Twins to hang around, and even have a lead in this one was just kind of bizarre. I'm watching it, and again, it is a slow moving type of game, one of those old school feel. You don't really get these types of games in the pitch clock era very often, but again, doesn't have to be pretty. The Tigers get the win, and even though there were some good individual efforts, I think overall the Tigers can find themselves fortunate to get the win in this one. Some other numbers. Kerry Carpenter gets his 22nd home run of the season. You love to see that. Going through the play-by-play. I love just jumping out early with the Spencer Torkelson RBI single in the first inning. That was clutch. But again, just so many missed opportunities early in that game to put the Twins away, which if it were a better team and you don't capitalize on those opportunities to put a team away, it can come back to bite you in the butt, because then you get the 3-run 5th inning for the Twins with the triple and then the sac fly. You got to come back, which again, credit the Tigers for doing so. But I mean, look at this Twins pitching staff, the guys that they're trotting out there. You know, that's not really a collection of, impressive major league relief arms. Let's call it what it is. So all that said, hey, Tigers are starting to play some better baseball. And they mentioned it on the broadcast. I don't know. I enjoyed the Fox broadcast. I really did. Kenny Albert and John Smoltz, I mean, it was really, really enjoyable for me. Nice little change up. I thought they were fair. And I mean, I love John Smoltz on a call. He's just dissecting what the pitchers are doing. So with that being the Fox game of the week, that was a nice little change up. No pun intended there. But Tigers are going to play on paper. And again, you got to be careful with this because it's Major League Baseball. All these guys drive Mercedes and are amazing at what they do. So I hate to play the schedule game, but the Tigers are going to play a lot of games in which they should be favored and down the stretch here. They've gotten through the hardest part of the schedule, again, on paper for what that is worth, and taking advantage of a Minnesota Twins team that is just so far, that has fallen so far. It's, it's a nice little added comfort to a team like the Tigers that are in what we didn't expect to be in, and that's a division race with the Cleveland Guardians. Although with the loss today for the Guardians, it's back to 8.5, which you love to see. All right, so many comments to get to. Here we go. Let's run through them. Demetrius McNeil is up first. Jake, despite 4 for 21 with men in scoring position and 14 runners left on base, another Tigers win. A 4-game sweep is coming up tomorrow. I love the optimism. Jason Walter, W, but this game was drunk. That's a good way to put it. I love Jason Walter's comments on here. They're always funny. Rich, we won, Twins stink. Yep. Why can't AJ see how much better the lineup is with torque betting between Carp and Green? It would give the opposing manager pause before going to his left-handed pitcher, and it would save Carp from pinch hitting. Yeah, I other than 100% agree. I'm with you on that, because if we're, and it seems that AJ is dead set on preventing Carp to hit against lefties. There are ways to strategically prevent teams from going right away to a lefty if you've got the big right-hander waiting after as the next batter. Obviously, with the rule change that a relief pitcher's got to face multiple guys, you can't just send in the left-handed specialist to face the lefty anymore. So I again agree 100%. Versus he said, great game, boys. That is Tigers baseball for show. If that's Tigers baseball, well, I'm just gonna have to set an alarm for my mid-game nap, because if that's going to be a repeated pattern, that's going to be tough to get to. Travis Wayne says RISP, runners in scoring position, a million times. So I agree with that. Mark Sweeney, regardless of his 2 hits, isn't a big leader. Yeah, a lot of hate for Sweeney. Was this the Sweeney revenge game? He had the nice play early in the game to tag out the runner stealing second. Listen, I'm certainly not a Sweeney defender, but he scored 3 runs today, 2 hits, is on base a couple of times, and he's got an RBI as well. Yeah, I mean, I joke by saying the Sweeney revenge games, but you know what I mean. Who we got next? Kevin Jeffrey, Jahmai Jones, 2 hits, 2 runs. Trey Sweeney, 2 runs, 4 runs scored. This game was in a controlled substance. Yes, 3 runs scored for Sweeney, but I get what you completely mean by that one. Travis Wayne says this game was a bleep show. We pulled it out, but the amount of times we didn't come through was ridiculous, but it was nice to see them working counts and not just going up there hacking. So not all bad. Indeed, this offense showed what they can be with an actual plate approach. Up next, Adam Collum, my guy, Adam. Great to see your comments coming in, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Great game for the Tigers bullpen. Showed it was not the 5th worst in Major League Baseball. And the offense, despite going 4 for 21, still scored 8 runs. Studs, Kerry Carpenter, and duds, Tyler Holton sucks. Yeah, I'm a little worried. That was one of our old favorite segments of studs and duds. I am a little bit worried about Tyler Holton. And the bullpen, yes, stubbed their toe a little bit there in the 7th inning with Holton. He could have really saved himself with that tremendous play by Torkelson. I couldn't tell from the replay. They gave the air to Holton on the botched ball going to first, and Smoltz was defending him. It was a tough move from a left-hander to secure that ball on the run and make the catch and step on first. But that being said, great stop by Torkelson, and that could have prevented the runs from scoring in the 7th inning. But that being said, Will Vest comes in and gets the job done. And then in the 8th, high leverage lot of traffic, but still gets the job done with the bases loaded and the strikeout. All right. Let's go ahead and check in with Chief IT Hips. Kyle Finnegan has been nothing short of outstanding since they acquired him. Huge win by Scott Harris on that trade. I would agree. Yeah, I said it the other night. Listen, for as critical as I was, Kyle Finnegan is looking like he was the exact addition this team needed at the trade deadline. So props to him. And I'm happy to be wrong. Happy to be wrong about that. But at the same time, it's been a small sample size. I don't think we're quite ready to crown Kyle Finnegan quite yet, but I would absolutely agree with that. All right, let's continue to break this one down. There's a lot more comments to get to, and yes, I see this one's hilarious from Braylon Dennis. Topa is an undercover Tiger. I mean, that errant throw was just absolutely brutal. I mean, how do you throw it that bad to first base? I have no idea. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll keep the lights on and we'll continue taking comments and have our biggest turning point and our player of the game. That's next on Live Locked On Tigers Postcasts. Hey, today's episode of the Locked On Tigers Postcast is brought to you by our good friends at 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies and making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Listen, I play a lot of golf. I love playing golf. It's how I get out there with my friends. And yeah, I'll have a transfusion from time to time on the course, but sometimes you just need a little energy boost. And that can help when you make one of the wildest shots you've ever made. I can remember chipping in and going crazy with my boys. It's one of the best feelings ever. Maybe it's a long putt, something or another. There's always exciting moments on the golf course because golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor, a 5 Hour Energy Transfusion, gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev card. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com, 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Today's episode is also brought to you by our good friends at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and oh yeah, finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet, which is good news because I sure don't know how to use Microsoft Excel. And don't you worry, Monarch makes it simple to review finances with a partner. You can share and collaborate on multiple accounts. You can both see your budgets and goals together and have all that spending activity in one place. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDON MLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Tigers win this one over the Minnesota Twins 8-5. Thanks for staying up late with us. Or if you're catching the audio only version on the next day, that's always a good reminder. You can get today's show wherever you get your podcast. And of course, always available on YouTube, free and available. That's the Locked On Tigers Network, your team each and every day. All right, couple more comments here. This is from Mike. Now, that was some beautiful baseball. Hey, did you know you can't spell McKinstry without stink? Weird, right? Nice game, Glaber. Keep her going, buddy. Yeah, McKinstry provided a little insurance there in the last inning. He scores on the air in the ninth. And, I'm not going to go sit here and say McKinstry has been great by any means, but I don't think he's, the worst player that deserves an individual shout out like that. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy that talks into the microphone. If you read some of the comments, I'm just some bum. All right. This one too from R1VJ4. Got to give it to Sweeney. 3 runs being there. There you go. There you go. Okay. Lots of good stuff here. Let's get into our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I'm going to go with Will Vest striking out. They're getting out of that 8th inning with the bases loaded, because at that time, a 1-run game, and before the Tigers had added the 2 runs of insurance, it's 6-5. It's the 8th inning. The crowd's kind of into it. You already feel like you've cracked into the Tigers bullpen because the Twins scored the 2 runs in the 7th. You got Buxton out earlier in the inning, and then you get Lee to strike out, or Jeffers, then Lee on the strikeout, and just 3 pitches, mow him down, strike swinging, strike looking, and strike swinging, and it's over. As far as the Twins' threat, Tigers go and score a couple runs in the 9th and then cruise to a victory with Finnegan to close it out in the 9th. So great stuff there. Absolutely love it. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
This one's tough because nobody really had an exceptional effort tonight. Let's be honest. I mean, it wasn't pretty at times. 4 for 21 with runners in scoring position. But Casey Mize, I haven't talked enough about him. He gets the win, 12-4 on the season, 6 1/3, 4 earned runs. So yeah, nothing to write home about in some amazing performance. But the 10 strikeouts, and we'll go ahead and call this kind of a turnaround type of year for Casey Mize, or we can mention him tonight as the player of the game. And also some love to Kyle Finnegan, who we've mentioned at length has been such a great addition to this team at the trade deadline. So Casey Mize ties a career high 10 strikeouts, and Kyle Finnegan, your 2 co-players of the game. That's going to do it for tonight. Hey, let's go get a 4-game sweep tomorrow. I love it. I love the idea of a 4-game sweep. Tigers have won 6 of their last 7, 4 in a row, starting to feel really good. Cleveland loses again today, so the lead back up to 8.5, which is great stuff. And let's keep it rolling. Take advantage of playing a god-awful team like the Minnesota Twins. Thanks as always for tuning in. It's always a pleasure, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Quick turnaround, early game tomorrow. Looking forward to that. A little day baseball on a Sunday. And we'll see what game number 4 brings as the Tigers go for a 4-game sweep over the Minnesota Twins. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And tomorrow, pitching. That's a great question. I knew I was missing something. I knew it. To close out the series, going for the sweep tomorrow, it is in fact Chris Paddack. So there you go. Chris Paddack will be on the bump for the Tigers, going for the 4-game sweep. We'll be on the air after that. Make sure you like today's video and subscribe. See you next time on the Locked On Tigers Postcast.